Welcome to the podcast for online fitness coaches. We're Benji Tucker and Ethan Gonzalez, and together we scaled each of our fitness businesses from 0 to 80K in just 4 months. On this podcast, you'll hear all about how to get more online fitness clients, make more profit from each of them, how to keep them longer, and the many failures and lessons we've learned on our path to a combined 160K a month. Today, we are going to be speaking about how to generate more leads. Why are we talking about that? Because it seems like that is the question everyone asks. It's not always their problem in reality, but nonetheless, it is a big deal if you don't have any leads flowing through your system. So I'll start kind of by asking the obvious. Why do you need leads coming into your funnel every single day?
Yeah. So I think for a lot of people, and this is kind of where we were in the beginning of our business, you're just kind of coasting along week by week. You're kind of hoping that you're making sales. You're kind of thinking, okay, I got to make a sale this week or I'm not going to make any money. And you're kind of always just thinking about when's the next lead going to come in that can actually buy. You're always thinking about the future rather than, the present. And so when you actually have leads that are coming in consistently from Instagram ads and you're able to see them each day and have more conversations, you number one, learn quicker because you can have more conversations, get better at having conversations, and then you book more calls. And then you also in the back end get more sales calls, you get more clients, and then get more testimonials, more referrals, and more upsells. And all of a sudden your business is completely growing, all because you started with having more leads.
Yeah, absolutely. And you make a good point, right? You first want to focus on volume and quantity so that you can learn how to be more qualitative in your actions and have more leverage, right? So in one sense, you don't necessarily need to care as much about these are the most perfect leads because you don't even have at-bats anyways, right? It's like you've never played baseball before, and then you're going to go out there and be like, I'm not going to take a swing at any pitch until it's like right down the middle. It's like you suck anyways. So like the more times you swing, the better you get because you learn from your failures and from your success, right? So then you can essentially repeat, as simple as it sounds, more and do more of what worked in the past for you and less of what didn't, right? But the only way you're going to know that is if you have lots of at-bats. The second obvious thing is you need leads to make money. Like if you have 0 leads, then there's no one to get on sales calls with you and there's no money to be made. Just like the inverse, where it's like if you have all the leads in the world, but you're not booking calls, well, then it also doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, I agree. And that's a good pointer on the baseball analogy because I think a lot of people try and say, oh, I need better leads. I need better leads than I can close deals. And they're always thinking about needing better stuff. But if you're just starting, you just need people in the door, right? You need people to see if you're even good at what you say you can do and practicing getting the reps in. A lot of people have this ego when you haven't closed any deals. So you haven't done anything basically.
Yeah, it's like the leads suck. Like, no matter what I do, it's like, have you even gotten someone on a sales call before, buddy? Or like, a lot of these people, they just suck at sales. And it's like, I need better leads. I need better leads. It's like, no, first you need to be good at sales because what's going to happen is when you get all those fantastic leads, they're going to come through your funnel. They're going to book a call, be really excited, and then you're going to destroy the deal every single time. It's going to come crumbling down because you are not proficient in the last input that you need in order to collect money. Right. Yeah. So it's like, okay, imagine if you have a water faucet, right? And it goes through pipes, but you have a break in a pipe and you're saying, no, instead of fixing the break in the pipe, I just want to put the water faucet on an even more powerful way so more water will come through. All that means is that more water is going to spill out, right? So we first need to actually focus on not sucking at lots of the inputs. And one way we do that is actually when you're starting off by turning that faucet on more, seeing what breaks, and then being able to plug that before turning the faucet on even further, right? I think that analogy would make sense for this case.
Yeah, it's about trial and error, right? Because if you have no leads, you don't know what's good, what's bad. But when you start putting leads into it, you're like, it's actually, I can't book calls. It's actually, I can't close deals, right? I can set calls, but I can't close them. Or, it's, this people actually don't have money on the calls, right? Then we can find the bottlenecks that are actually coming up.
Yeah, if you have no idea what the heck the problem is, how you can't you can't grow, right? You can't plug the problem, and that's going to be your constraint. And if you can't fix the constraint, there is quite literally no room of growth, right? Like the theory of constraints states that your business can only grow up into the constraint that you have. So if you don't know what that is, well, then you're never going anywhere past that. And for so many beginners or people that are, let's say, in between like 3 to 10K, it's like if you don't know what your constraint is, you're never going to make it over 10K. You're never going to achieve that freedom you want. I think
Yeah.
it's as simple as that.
And I think with people who are at, 3 to 10K, because we were there ourselves, it's you honestly think you're really good at everything, but you honestly suck at everything. Like
Yeah.
the reason why you're at 3 to 10K is because there's a lot of things that you need to fix. And you probably have some mindset issues too around, spending more on ads or getting more clients or, your deliverability or imposter syndrome or things like that. Like you're in the spot you're in because of the decisions and actions that you took. And so you're there for a reason. It's not just like, oh, I should be at 50. I should be at 100. No, you got to
Yeah.
get there by doing the right things consistently.
Precisely. And that's why you got to turn the faucet on to actually see where it breaks. So then you can look at yourself in the mirror and be honest and say, oh, wow, I really do suck. I think a lot of people, even us in the beginning, one of the reasons we didn't scale right away, one part is just fear. But the second part is because, well, I would say it's inextricably tied to another type of fear. The fear that, hey, even though I say I'm really good, I'm going to find out things about myself where I really got to improve. And then that's like, oh man, I got to work that much more. So a lot of people blame different things and they sort of abdicate responsibility and they say, oh, the leads are the problem or this is the problem. It's not me. I'm great at business, right? Well, if you're great at business and you're stuck at 5K, you're not great at business.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I think another thing we could say is a lot of people are naturally going to ask from this point then, okay, well, you're saying, just get more leads then. Well, how do I do that? I have no idea what to do at all. So maybe first we could just go over what are the most common mistakes we see with people trying to generate leads and why they fail.
Yeah, I would say probably the first one is the people who listen to a lot of people out there who are like, oh, just post like 10 times a day, right? Just post 10 times a day and over a year, you're bound to be successful, right? And it's like, you might get there, but do you really want to post 10 times a day for an entire year, go live multiple times a week, try and build a community that you don't even know if you have the right avatar, right? Like we don't even know if we've solved the generic problems, right? Because if you're talking to everybody, you might get a lot of leads, you might get a lot of people come in, but you're really speaking to nobody, right? Because you're talking to every specific problem of everybody. You're not.
Yeah, and then you don't resonate strongly enough with any individual. And I would say the other problem too is that if you're fixating so much on posting 10 times a day, well, then you're not going to have room to grow in other aspects. So it's like, that's just one part of the puzzle is traffic. But how about what happens after that traffic? How you handle DM conversations to get people on calls with you, how you get people to show up on calls, how once they've shown up, how you could actually close them, how you could fulfill them, and how you could upsell them. If you're just like, oh, I'm going to give it a year to get traffic to then come to my page, well, it's like once that traffic comes to your page, you don't even know what to do with it because you haven't developed the skills to know what to do with that traffic. And that's why it's such a dumb idea in my opinion, right? Like people either rely on that organic or they rely on referrals, right? And I think that it's great in almost like Hermosian sense to you like that term Hermosian, right? As if he was like a founding father or something. But to sort of do it in this way, but realistically your business is not going to thrive. It's not going to scale this way ever. And it's not going to teach you enough because the learning curve is going to take so long, right? Like just what we talked about before, you need that faucet to be turned on. If you're waiting for, oh, maybe in a year that will be turned on, or, oh, I just get referrals right now. Are you getting hundreds of referrals every single month? Because if not, then you need to, run ads to learn skills, right? You need to run ads to fail quickly, to be able to learn quickly, to be able to apply that quickly, to then start to scale. It's the only way.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point is that a lot of the times people rely heavily on referrals, and especially in the beginning, it's like, oh, I had a couple friends sign on. Yeah, okay, you got your friends to sign on. What'd they sign on for? $200 a month? $100 a month?
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, how long are they going to stay for? Are they going to stay forever, or are they going to stay for a couple months and be like, that's fine. Did you get them to sign an agreement? Like, are they in with you for 6 months? Are they in with you for a month, right? So your business is very kind of in the dark when you're relying on referrals because what if someone refers? What if someone doesn't this month? You could make 0. You could make 2. You could make 3. But if you're not having a consistent stream of people coming in, then it's very difficult.
Yeah, exactly. And not to mention that it's a lot easier, depending on the price point, but to convert someone that has been following you for 5 years, that's your friend or a friend of a friend, a lot easier to convert that type of person. It doesn't teach you the lessons of someone coming from a more cold source and turning them into a warm lead, right? It's very different in that way. And the person who just joined the launch program last night, this is the exact conversation that I had with them on that call. It was, hey, I have been in other mentorships before, and they wanted me to run ads, but because I was newer to business, no one really like held me accountable to like getting that first ad out there. That was a mental block for me. And because of that, right, they were stuck at like 3K per month in new cash, right? They had a few people that were monthly recurring to, I think, get to 4 to 5K a month, but it's like they were lucky if they were doing 3K, and that 3K was just coming from if someone referred and then if that person signed up, right? But the problem with that is that now they're going to come run ads and they're not going to have the skills yet, and that's precisely why they need to run them, because now they're going to have to learn, oh, okay, that's what real objection handling is like with people that I've never spoken to before, that weren't in my vicinity, right? And then from there, their ads will start to actually work when they've developed those skills from the leads coming in and getting more practice.
Yeah. And I would say one more thing on top of the organic is like, I was a part of an organic group that I paid like 9,000 for that didn't.
Is that the crazy one?
Didn't work. Yeah. So
yeah.
The problem with that is, I mean, they were saying like, oh, post 2 to 3 times a day. So whether you're posting 2 to 3 times or you're posting 10, it's the same thing. A lot of those strategies where you're posting multiple times a day, you're getting leads or people are coming into your page, you're getting views and likes, which is cool, makes you feel good, but it doesn't actually do anything for your business, because the people who come from a 5-second reel where you're walking on the treadmill, they're not there to buy. They're there to be like, oh, where's the free recipe at? Where's the free stuff?
Yeah. Think about that for a second, guys, because you make a really good point. Imagine for a second, guys, this logic. Okay, I'm on Instagram, I'm scrolling through, and I see, oh, here's some jacked guy on a treadmill, 3-second video. He looks jacked. Go to his page, link in bio, coaching with me. Oh, this guy, he knows everything. Let me book a call with him right away. Like, that's the logic that these people have. That's their funnel.
Yeah. They hope that there's enough people that somebody clicks book a call without any conversation and is going to show up and is pre-sold and is just going to buy your 5K program. It's like, it's not going to happen.
That's insanity.
The people who come from those videos are the people who are 300 pounds overweight. They have no money. They have 5 baby daddies. Like, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
You're not going to be successful if you're posting reels for likes or views, because all the likes or views, who knows if they're coming from the United States? They could be coming from overseas. Like, your reel could go viral and it's in a completely different country, and you're trying to message those people, and it's just, it's like, there's just no way.
Reel goes viral in India, and you're trying to sell to them. You can make like $1 a month, guys, with that, with the currency transfer. But yeah, I think it's astounding. I mean, when you first scaled to whatever it was, 70, 80K a month, right? How many times, just let the audience know, how many times did you post that month on your, other than stories, right? Like main feed, how many times did you post?
0. I haven't posted since December, I think, like 15th.
And it was the same with me. Now, here's the thing. We're not saying, hey, never post, right? In fact, like, you should a lot more in the beginning, in the sense of like, you need to learn how to make good posts so that the few you actually have there convert well. But like, once we had the principles down, guys, we didn't post at all, because we realized, oh, it's like the Instagram page is the landing page. And once we know how to attract the right clients, that does the heavy lifting. The ad just sends people there, and we don't need to post nonstop, right? We can actually now focus on the tasks that move the business forwards and actually makes more money, and or have more leisure time to enjoy our lives, instead of cold DMing people nonstop, or, spending 3 hours in CapCut because, it got shut down yesterday and now it's back up, and the loading time on your computer is an hour long. Remember those days? Like, you don't have to do that anymore, guys, if you actually follow this sort of strategy.
Yeah, definitely. And it is a lot about making your profile, there to attract people and repel others. You want your content to resonate with one specific person, not everyone. content that resonates with one person is not going to get a ton of views. It's not going to get a ton of likes, but you'll get people to see it. You'll convert more followers from your ads versus having generic content, which may get more likes organically and views and things like that. But when that ideal person comes to your page, they're like, oh, he's kind of for everybody. This coach
Yeah.
is just a generic coach. He's just like all the other ones. He gives out free recipes, free PDFs. Like, I don't want that. They want the
PDFs,
high
yeah.
level stuff. They
Yeah,
want
here's
high
a
level
thing,
stuff.
guys. Like lead magnets work much less in the fitness industry, though, and like here's why. I mean, precisely what Ethan said is that if you're giving out a lot of freebies, you're conditioning people to say, "Oh, I like," you're finding an audience, you're attracting an audience that likes free stuff. Unless you're someone with, you know, a million followers. I mean, lead magnets work great because it actually helps filter people and that, you know, funnels them in. But otherwise, I mean, you want to almost treat your Instagram page and the content you do have as the lead magnet already, right? Because it's, hey, those videos are so valuable. Now I want to learn more from this person. When he goes to message me, you know, that's what I'm interested in. But we got to be careful here because we don't want to steal from the next big topic of our video that's coming up with attracting high quality clients. So a little
That's true.
secret there for you guys, for all our thousands of listeners thus far in episode 2. Now, all right, guys, I'm going to make this very simple. How do you actually get the leads now, right? And it's really easy. Like, this was a lesson that I learned in sort of a funny way. So I had talked to Jason Wojo. I had purchased like 5-6 calls with him, and we were going on one of our, I think it was our first 30-minute call, and he's like, well, what do you want help with, right? And I'm like, well, you know, if I could just book like one call a day, right? At the time, one call was a lot to me, then I could crush because I know how to close. So if I book one call a day, and he's like, really? He's like, well, that's easy. Like, we just like spend more money on ads. And I'm thinking to myself, what? Like, that's it? You just spend more money on ads? Comes to turn out that he was absolutely right. And all you really need to do, assuming you're not running the worst ad of all time, is spend more money on ads and you're going to get more leads. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, very true. And I think that's something that a lot of the times people kind of push off for a while because they're fearful about it, right? Just to spend more and just, oh, it's a risk, or, oh, I don't know. But if you have something that's working, if you're spending $10, if you spent 100, it would most likely work just as well. Like, you're not spending 10,000 a day. Your ad's not going to get fatigued in a day. Like, if you're spending $50, $100, it will work for, you know, a good bit of time. Like, it'll
Yeah,
work.
unless your audience targeting is like 10 people. But
Yeah.
nowadays, you know, we generally do broader targeting anyway. So it takes longer for an ad to fatigue, right? A
Yeah.
lot of people think that it fatigues quickly or whatnot, or that I think it's also just a relationship with money thing. Being afraid to spend more in general, even if that's not logical based on where all your numbers are at. But I always use this analogy. To me, it's just like as if Stephen Curry made 10 out of 10 free throws and he said, you know what? I'm not going to take any more free throws because I'm scared I'll miss the next batch of them. It's like, that makes no sense. He just went 10 for 10, right? Like, I think I've quite literally seen a video of him online make 76 3-pointers in a row. Not a game situation, but 76 in a row. So it's like, if you can you know, spend $1,000 on ads and make, let's just say, $3,000 back, there's no reason in theory why you can't spend $10,000 and make $30,000 back unless you totally start the slack.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say 100%. I mean, there's no logical reason unless something, and again, it's that theory of constraints, like unless something breaks in your funnel where it's like, oh, well, actually, I need another setter, or, oh, actually, you know, I don't have enough call times available. Like, that's things that can come up, but otherwise there's no reason why you can't.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it kind of leads me to my last point where it just relates to, okay, you have the ads now and everyone's always concerned, or you have the leads now, everyone's always concerned about that, right? But kind of to bring it, you know, tie it back to exactly what we were talking about in the beginning of the podcast, it is not the leads that is the problem, right? That's the easiest thing ever. It's just as simple as turning the sink on in the bathroom. It's everything that comes after that that you now have to actually get good at and find out what the constraint is. Rarely is it the ad itself. Like, yes, of course it takes testing and whatnot, but usually it's not like, oh, you're so unskilled with ads that that's the problem, right? You run a few tests, ads should be fine. It's everything that comes after. So, like, what do I mean by everything that comes after? It's, okay, what is your content nurturing? Does it speak to a specific archetype of person? are you able to get people, are you able to elicit a response in the DM so you could start conversations, have more meaningful conversations with people? Are you skilled to be able to carry on that conversation, meet objections, and be able to book people in for calls? Do you have a sequence that allows people to get on your calls? Are you able to close your calls? And then, so on from there, right? So it's like those are where all the problems are. It's everything that comes after that. Like ads are like sort of like this mystical buzzword, right? It's the reason why, and I'll touch on him again because I brought him up. It's the reason why Wojo makes his events scaling with ads or whatever it is, and then he doesn't talk about ads the whole time. It's because that's like what gets people attracted. Oh, ads, like that's magical. That's magical. But everyone's lying to you. Everyone that says, oh, like, I'm going to teach you how to do ads because everything else is, you must be amazing at everything else. That's the presupposition. It's like, no, it's the opposite. It's like, hey, the ads part, even though no one's taught you how to do it, it's going to be really easy. We're going to tell you how to do it in 10 seconds, and then we're going to build everything else around that.
Yeah. And I think it is. And yeah, ads take some time to test, but I will say that a lot of it is just very, very simple. It's like click a button and it's running. Right? They spend billions of dollars a year to make it as easy as possible for you to give them money. So there's nothing scary about it. It's just about testing and figuring it out. And then once you have that, then it's about those little small pieces after. It's about optimizing everything.
Absolutely. I think we could close here.
Yeah. All right, guys. So good podcast here. A little bit on top of actually how to get, really getting leads into your funnel, and then speaking a little bit more on some of the deeper issues that some of you guys are facing when it comes down to leads, like the back end issues that are even more important, right? So I want to say overall, thank you for watching the second episode of the podcast for online fitness coaches. As a thank you, I want to go ahead and give you the exact sales script that I'm currently using to close at 60% each month. This is kind of the thing that's going to help you to elevate your ability in sales, that will help you to close more leads once we get that faucet turned on. So if you guys want it, go ahead, message us at PT Launchpad on Instagram, no spaces, and we'll send it over.